In this video, we'll show you how to use a toggle physical switch on the back of the HAL box. So I made it really simple. We just have a single two-way crossover here, mono, and if we open up the crossover, you'll see it defaults to 500 hertz, maybe not the frequency you want for a two-way. So let's change it to 100 hertz, and now I've moved it down to 100. Now that I've done that, I'm going to hit the save baseline, which is the concept of saving every parameter in the entire product, both the crossover frequency and the output and input gains and anything else you've got set up, even links to remotes, etc. So we'll set up the rest of this system. So we're going to go back here and use the physical logic input on the back, this toggle input number 1. And I'm going to rename this. Maybe I'll call this sub louder, because when we close a physical switch between pin 1 on the logic in and the ground terminal, all this will do is activate this logic in, and we're going to use that to create or activate a toggle-like preset. So if I open up the preset or all presets window here, there's toggle-like presets, selector presets. I'm going to create a toggle-like preset. I'm going to call this the sub louder preset. So return the sub louder. I can click this little white and blue icon and call this the sub louder preset. And we're going to use that to toggle the preset back and forth to turn up the gain of the crossover. So here we go. We have a gain on the output of the crossover. If I hit the little table button, I can see that we have both a high cut out, or which is the low frequency out, or the low output, this wire here to this low frequency output number 2 on this particular box. The low cut, of course, is the high frequencies out of this. So we're going to use the gain control here. Let's say we turn it up 6 dB. So I'm going to type in 6 and hit the enter key, and there's my 6 dB of gain. So I've turned it up louder. And now I need to store that to this toggle-like preset. So to store, when I have a preset window open, any preset window open, if I put my mouse over any block on the screen, I can store that entire block and all its settings to the screen. Or maybe all the blocks that are highlighted, so I can highlight these blocks and grab one of these little blue dice symbol that you see show up. So that blue dice symbol shows up every time this preset window is open. In this case, all we're going to store is the crossover settings, because I've just changed it to a gain of 6 dB. From the different than the baseline, 6 dB louder than the baseline. If I can drag the little blue dice symbol and put it on the add button here, now I've just stored the settings of this crossover, namely 6 dB of gain, 100 hertz, link with Riley 24, etc. Those values are all set. And now you can see I can check my work. If I click the toggle button for active, I can activate and deactivate that. And you see as I toggle that back and forth, the gain on the output of the crossover here, the low frequency output with the high cut out, toggles back and forth between 6 dB louder, and then when it's inactive, it is now 6 dB quieter. Now, last step is to just link that to the logic input. I've created this sub louder logic input I've renamed. I can grab the little dice symbol, not the dice symbol, the chain symbol here, and the chain symbol I can drag, and anytime I drag a toggle-like, in this case, chain symbol, it gives me the ability to drop it on anything else that's toggle-like, and it highlights those. And the thing that I want to link it to here is the toggle-like preset. So I drop those together, and it says, hey, I would like to create a toggle-like link, and I can name this link. Let's call this the sub louder link, because that's what this link does, as I've linked the two chain symbols together, meaning they both turn purple, and now they will always follow each other. Note that since I'm using a logic physical input, I can click on the sub louder yellow text here and open up a window that lets me emulate what would happen if I really had a live connected device. Right now I'm offline, but I'm emulating what would happen if I really did have a physical switch hooked to the back logic port, and we can do this with all the remotes in the whole HAL system here. So I can toggle back and forth, and you see that it is both grayed out the active checkbox in the preset window that I was previously using to test. And now that that's great, I'm forced to use the physical wire, because this is really what we call a read-only control. Only by hitting the physical switch closure on the back of the HAL will you be able to toggle this back and forth, and that indeed toggles back and forth between making the sub louder by 6 dB, and when the switch opens, it gets softer by 6 dB. So that's how you would program a toggle-like preset from the logic input port to change the output of a subwoofer to be a little bit louder.